Hey, all right, it's go time. It is go time. I love the music that's still playing.
I know. I'm like,
Okay.
turn it
All right.
Hey.
It's Friday, y'all. Welcome to Finally Friday. I'm your digital anchor, Andre Ash. We're joined here by the one and only Lynzee Mychael. Hey. We also have one and only Antonice Strickland joining us from 98.4.
and we came braids. We did. I told y'all we was on the call. We came braids and we came blonde in the braids.
I love some color.
I don't know why they always about to play.
Shout out to BB.
I think the braids have I think it's an inspiration that we may just get an interview with Brandy soon.
Oh,
It's giving me Brandy
so
fever.
excited.
she definitely is an icon in every black girl's life.
Super vibe.
Yes.
What?
She is still Cinderella.
She
Isn't
is.
she?
She is.
The only
She's
Cinderella.
the only. Yeah, I was about to say what?
She was the first black remake. Okay, let's be
All
clear.
right now.
Yeah, you don't want to go down that road.
Well, welcome. We got some hot topics for you this Friday morning. We've also got some great guests. We're going to be talking with the one and only. He's got himself involved in quite a few things. I mean, he has been popular for his skit that'll go viral on Vine.
Yes.
Paige Kennedy will join us. He's got a new album out, so we'll be talking with him about his music.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
and all his other ventures, fitness, all that good
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
I love to see how people keep that longevity in their career alive and well. Also, speaking of music, Lynzee goes one-on-one with Jeezy this week. We got that interview coming up. That was dope.
That is very
Thank you.
dope.
I really enjoyed it. He was so cool. And I'm gonna let y'all know I was shaking. I was a little nervous because I'm a Jeezy fan, like die hard, 05, the Motivation
You got to be
101.
nervous about.
I
You got to be nervous about.
No, yeah, it was a great time. Can't wait for you guys to see it.
Yeah, so we'll have that coming up. And also, coming up in the show, we'll be talking with the executive director of the Joe Louis Greenway, 27 miles of greenery and a lot of great space coming into the city that's under construction. So I will be talking more about that with Leona, who will join us coming up soon.
I'm excited. Leona was amazing.
So
I've known
excited.
Leona for a couple of years. I can't wait to talk to her, actually.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So let's get to some of these hot topics. Because one of them coming up in the show we'll get to later is what is your favorite Coney Island in the city? Think about it. We want you to weigh in, give us your comments, your feedback. I already know mine because
I was gonna say real Detroiters really don't gotta really think about it.
Don't gotta think about it.
It's probably between a couple, you know what I mean?
Literally.
I mean, the best sides are on the east side anyway. So
Oh my gosh, here we go.
we'll have that.
I'm not gonna get into that with him today.
We'll have that debate coming up in the show. Weigh in and give us your feedback. Hashtag finally FRIDET. That's finally fried DET. We'll have that debate coming up later in the show. But first, let's get to the hot topics in Black culture this week.
Yes.
Woo!
Oh, it was a hot one.
Usher and Kiki.
Oh, the petty king and queen.
They just keep it going. And I was actually in shock. I'm like,
Can I
really?
tell y'all?
I thought it was a joke.
How petty I was the day before it dropped. I saw that Usher had posted like the reminder or whatever that it was gonna come out at 10. I was up early so I could listen to it and write a story on it. The story was up by 10:30.
Oh my gosh!
Look, that they are definitely hitting or getting to the bag when it comes to just leveraging the opportunity that people are weighing in. You got T-shirts made. Now you got music that's going into it. But now you also have I guess you could say it's a failed relationship out of the whole situation.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
But I thought it was already failed.
Well, it probably was. Who knows?
Listen, that relationship has some foundational
That was a little
issues.
shaky.
But
let's get to the video that they
please
queued up or teased for us.
Try my best not to be all in your phone, but I know that's not what you want. Might as well keep some pictures of the two of us in your home. When you slow dance by yourself, I'm right behind you. Yeah, spray my fragrance on your skin. It will remind you of the times we linked up and the nights we dreamed of.
Yo, Antonice, get your sister. Y'all are
sick.
We always say that Antonice reminds us a little bit of Keke Palmer.
And speaking of reminds you, the fact that the nod they did to the Usher "You Remind Me" video was so funny. She had on the Usher chain with the big jacket.
Did you see when she did the hand movement?
Oh, you got to.
And they did the whole, you don't have to go.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
So I was cracking up and laughing about the whole video because first of all, Lynzee can't take Keke Palmer serious anyway.
No, when he first put it out, I thought it was like a collab. I thought she was gonna be singing on it, and I was a little like
shaky.
Okay, but then I saw what they did there, and I like it. And Usher just added November and December,
and I'm
to his
Me
too. Please let's figure that out because
you already married, but gotta go before so nobody feels any kind of way. No,
listen, I already told mine. He like I want to go too.
Exactly.
Listen,
That's the energy. That's the energy.
Can we go together? Can we go together? But no, I was a little sad because I thought it was going to be over in October. I'm like, I'm not going to make October, but he added November, December. But that just also adds to like how they were like, we're going to capitalize on this.
Yeah,
I'm about to drop my new dates. We're gonna drop this song.
Your relationship was already one that.
Your relationship is dropped. Like we dropping. Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so raw.
Sorry. At the end of the article, I put, "How does everybody feel?" Maybe we should ask Darius.
Oh wow.
That's his name.
In all this, and just to provide some context, if you haven't been following the whole saga between Keke Palmer and her boyfriend, we know that Keke went to an Usher concert. Very revealing outfit she had on, and her boyfriend had something to say about it when she came home, and he put that out on.
I was
about to say not when she made it home. I was about to say
he was on Twitter.
He didn't say a thing when she made it home.
Yeah, she didn't have time to make it home.
She may not have went home.
He went on X to say something about it.
X.
that you are a mother. That's what he said to her.
But I do think that it's kind of cool. Like in her little comment about it, like she really just was a fan of Usher. Like she was hyped to just be
like
Usher in the video. Like she wasn't
the
the little girl, the vixen, the in a sexy. She was dressed like him in the whole video. Yeah. I think that was kind of cool.
I thought it was fun.
Very petty, but I thought it was cool.
If we're gonna be nosy, might as well capitalize.
I am mad at it.
The PR team. The PR team is PRing.
For sure. Angie Sanders says, yes, gotta get to one of those shows.
Let's go together. Let's
all just go. That would be a cute like vlog type deal. Finally Friday takes on Usher Vegas residency. I can see it now.
Let me know how it goes.
Oh, you're not trying to go? Dang.
Well, there's other things to do in Vegas too.
Okay. And
Moving on. Coming up in the show, we're going to be talking about the deal that was no deal for BET and prospective buyers. We've got something to say about that. Also, the ongoing saga of the folding chair is another one that people are still talking about, even into week 2 after the Montgomery brawl. I actually did a follow-up story because we had an incident in Detroit that went viral as it relates to the folding chair. So I did a little deeper dive into it. We'll get into that in just a moment. I think we got that queued up coming up in our break here. So we'll get to that, I think.
Yes, we'll get to it after. We gotta show the Jeezy interview for anyone who doesn't know. Jeezy, formerly known as Young Jeezy, now J. Jeezy Jenkins, dropped a book, Adversity for Sale. A lot of J's. But our boy dropped a book, Adversity for Sale. You gotta believe it's just a book that talks a lot about his failures and the lessons he's learned. He said people usually focus a lot on the triumphs, but no one ever talks about the struggles that get in the lessons that you learn throughout. And from your failures that get you to success and to the point that he is now in his life. And so we're going to take a look at that interview I had with him.
Love it.
All right, go. All right. What up, though? It's your girl, Lynzee Mychael, multimedia journalist with Michigan Chronicle. And listen, my guest needs no intro. Rapper, entrepreneur, philanthropist, activist, father, husband, and now an author, our favorite trapper, J. Jeezy Jenkins. What's up?
What up, though?
What up, though? You wrote a book. I can't even fathom that. Like, I know that process. I heard that you said the process was therapeutic. The title of the book, Adversity for Sale. What inspired the name?
Well, really, the subtitle, you got to believe, because that's all, you know, I that was my mantra. It still is to this day. The adversity of the cell was, you know, every time I lost, I used to sit back and like, man, like, but I always used to walk out a little wiser. And I thought that was interesting because when I won, I walked away with nothing, you know, not even trophies. So I used to wonder, like, man, like, am I losing for a reason? And, you know, over time, I started to realize I was. Like, I had to understand who I was becoming and what I was supposed to be doing out here, right? And adversity still is the presentation, you know, because I've sold music and I've sold spirits and everything, but I've never sold my losses, and I feel like that's where I'm at right now. It's like an owner's manual or something, you know.
Well, I noticed growth in all of your albums. And for those of us who really listen to the lyrics, you've always poured your experiences, your reflections, and your lessons within the music. What happened that made the light bulb go off that said, let me put this in the form of a book?
Life happened. I mean, you know, music is one thing because it's one way to connect with people. And somebody gave me a book, Think and Grow Rich. And I remember the first time I completed, I was just like, I felt this sense of accomplishment, but I was like, hold on, let me go back to chapter. And I would just see these things in life, and I'm just like, wow, like, this is so interesting that somebody can write something that applies to my life. I was like, well, what if I wrote something that applies to, you know, people who went through the same struggle I did? And over the pandemic, it was just like, you know, when the pandemic happened, it was like he was going to go down with it, or he was going to reinvent himself. And that was the moment I had a lot of time to just think and sit back and start writing the book. And it really came out of the pandemic, having that time, not touring, not moving around, just sitting in one place and going through my thoughts. And, you know, I got the first chapter and I was like, oh. And the second chapter, I'm like, oh, it just started to come together and formulate. And now you have it.
Yeah, I think a lot of us were doing the same thing during the pandemic, just reflecting and trying to see what was in.
I love that. You got Jay-Z. What do we call him now? Jeezy Jenkins.
Jeezy Jenkins, or just Jeezy.
But you
know, when you put your book out,
in his book,
you gotta,
he's going by Jeezy Jenkins. Like, is it J period? Jeezy?
No, Jay.
Oh, literally J.
Yeah.
Okay.
His first name.
I love it.
You know, some people do that cool little like period.
He was like, it's already a.
I'm gonna change my name in a minute, but we got a guest joining us here in the studio. Give it up for the one. Well, you know.
Yeah. Oh yes, the one and only, the beautiful, the fashionable, Leona Medley.
Hey. Good morning.
You are sparkling today.
Right?
The nails, the shirt.
So it was my birthday on Tuesday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Leo.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, Leo
energy.
Right, because you just had a birthday. But you're not Leo.
I am a Leo.
Oh, you're a
Leo.
That's right.
Come on now. Is there any
other?
other sign?
Right. I'm about to go on you. How dare you forget?
Well, Leona, talk to us about the work that you're doing. You're the executive director of the Joe Louis Greenway Partnership. And, you know, this is a project that is going to go 27.5 miles across the city. What is that going to look like?
Oh my God, it's pretty phenomenal. So I've been in position now since April, and it's been an amazing journey this far. But when you think 27.5 miles, so kind of just to give you some context, think of on one side the DeQuinder Cut, and think on the other side the riverfront. And so what is now happening is the Joe Louis Greenway is connecting all of that beautiful green and open public space in the neighborhoods. So it is going 27.5 miles through the city of Detroit, through Highland Park, through Hamtramck, and then back to the city of Detroit. And it's going to touch Dearborn as well.
Wow.
So, I mean, when you talk about one of the biggest public space projects in the region, there is not a project that is connecting multiple cities, municipalities, 23 communities, thousands of residents, tens of thousands of residents in multiple cities. It's amazing.
Wow. It sounded like a hub of opportunity, businesses, events, and then it's also promoting health as well. You know, they have the bike trail and the walking trail and just all of this open space. How can people start getting involved with what's going on?
Yeah, so when I tell people about the Joe Louis Greenway, you have to think of it as still a city park, but it's a linear park, right? So it's not a park in the sense that we're used to seeing our parks around the city. So it's still a city park. So there's lots of community engagement that continues to happen with the city of Detroit. We just had an amazing land summit. So the planning study with the city of Detroit, they did the land summit, and what they wanted to do was talk to residents about interim strategies on how to acquire and activate land around the Greenway. And so being really intentional about making sure residents have access to information and that we're really starting this work early on. The city did a 2-year community engagement with residents. They engaged thousands of residents to talk about the design, the route, the path, and they were really intentional about adjusting it. So, and if you have not been over there, you can actually see the Greenway, the first phase of it right now. So if you go West Warren, there's this amazing trailhead that's going to have a pavilion, a park, playscapes, all of those things. And then there's 2 miles of trail from Warren to Joy Road. That's already people are already using it.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's being activated when you think about, like, outside from the Detroit riverfront, you know, I think about the Quinta Cut, just an expansion of that, to 3 times even greater. But also it reflects on the name itself, and really continue to celebrate Joe Louis and who he was.
So Rochelle Riley, when the Joe Louis Arena was being decommissioned, Rochelle Riley wrote an article about how do we continue to preserve that legacy. And going through this process of naming this amazing project, the Joe Louis Greenway, really kind of reinvigorates that this is about community activism. This is about the community voice. How do we make sure that residents who have done this work, who have continued to cut the grass, mow the lawn, and the vacant lots in their communities and their neighborhoods are celebrated and have an opportunity. You talked about like activating. So that's what my organization is here to do. We will be programming and activating that space. You can think next spring. So some of the things that you're thinking, like at Beacon Park, like we don't have to create new stuff, but we do want to work with residents because it's different. This is literally, this is one block, this is another block, and the Greenway is here. It is in between houses. So if you live near it, you can look outside your house and see this amazing public space, and you can walk to it and get right to it.
What are you like most excited about with this project?
I am most excited about residents being able to economically benefit from this project. Right? And that is the thing that I am always thinking about, is how do we make sure that the residents that are in the neighborhoods and in the city have the information, have the opportunity, because what happens is projects happen at such a fast pace that it's hard to keep up. And so we are here trying to slow the information down so that communities have an opportunity to keep up with the pace of things and get all of their things in line so that they can participate. And so we want to make sure that like when I talk about like having opportunity, so if you are a small entrepreneur and it's been a side hustle and you make tea, we want to figure out how you can take your tea and how you can get all of your licenses and certifications and have a commercial kitchen and produce it and come on that Greenway and sell your tea.
I feel like you just spoke to me. I was like, did she do that on purpose?
Oh, you got to see?
Yes. I'm so happy that you said that, because back in May, I interviewed Marlon Martin, who is opening the Highland Park Community Kitchen that is going to just be a place where people who are involved in culinary can come and cook and have community. And so things like that, it sounds like this is going to be an open opportunity for other business
owners. Marlon is my sister friend. And so so that is what we are trying to do, right? Like when I talk about our ecosystem in Detroit and about the brain power that we have, like we have the intellect and the intelligence to solve anything that comes our way. What we need to do is make sure that we have the access to the resources, we have access to the capital and the opportunities. And that's what we're here. We are meeting with community every day. And when the residents tell me what they want, we are just here to, how do we help ensure that what the residents want can happen?
Absolutely.
I love cultivating community.
I love stuff like that. That is amazing.
The shorter Right.
Me?
Yes.
Lifelong.
Okay.
And so, in being this lifelong
Don't play
Detroiter,
Flair.
the important question that I have for you is, East Side or West Side?
So I am one of the few Detroiters who has lived on both sides.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So
right.
I was born on the east side, 7 Mile, Evergreen, 7 Mile Prevost, and we moved to the one on the west side.
Well, that's
and then
west
moved,
side.
on the west side, and then we moved to the east side. But I've been in my current neighborhood on the east side for 30 years. Went to Finney High School.
Okay.
Shout out Finney.
Hey.
She was born on the west side, though. Okay, so let's
Yes.
not.
Okay.
She made that important decision to move to the east
Yes.
side.
Yes.
Me and Andre have an ongoing,
Listen,
you
you
debate.
Westsiders. I'm telling my friends right now, when they try to come visit me, you would think that they were going to Mississippi. They're like, we gotta fry some chicken.
Listen,
we gotta
wild.
make pound cake.
No, seriously,
So
my
wild.
mom is East. She's like Grosse Pointe area. So I'm always like, when I come, I'm coming to stay. Okay.
Oh my
I gotta
God.
ride
Stop
nothing
it.
for that long.
See,
I'm
no.
gonna stay
I'm
for a
telling
while.
you, Westside.
Let me tell you, this Joe Louis Greenway will encompass multiple communities.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so, I just love the work that you're doing, and it is just profound to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be great to see once this
Yes.
debuts and premieres.
Yeah. And this
for the
is Detroit's
community.
project. So, one thing I want to tell folks and make sure that that our city understands that this is Detroit's project,
Mhm.
right? This is a project for community. This is a project for the residents. And we want to make sure that residents feel welcome and that they are really the center. So no matter where it happens, east side or west side, this is the city. And I really want to see us shift to how do we have a collective thought about our city as a whole, right? And there is amazing and beauty that happens on all sides.
Yes.
Yeah.
Providing the connectivity.
I
We
love that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
awesome.
favorite part about this whole project. The fact that you
Yes.
guys got the community involved
Mhm.
and heard them out. Like,
Mhm.
how often do we have a say in the things that are happening around us and within our city? So
Yeah.
that is
Or that people are intentional to make sure
intentional to
Yeah.
make
that we're
sure
hearing.
that the project that you're developing makes
Yeah.
sense.
And that
I
we
love
have Detroiters who are in position to make those decisions. So-
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
it.
Yes.
That part.
Yes. It's my honor to be in this position.
Absolutely. Leona Bentley, executive director of the Joe Louis Greenway Project Partnership, joining us here on Finally Friday this morning. Thanks so much for coming through.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, y'all. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Coming up on this show on Finally Friday this morning, we got a lot going on.
So much.
We're coming up in the show. We're going to be talking with Paige Kennedy.
Yes.
He's got a new album out. So we're
Yes.
talking some more music. We're also going to be talking about your favorite Coney Island in the city.
Make sure to drop that,
Yeah,
so we
please let
can
us know.
Drop
see what
those
you guys
comments.
are talking about.
We got to probably get our favorite Coney Islands on the Joe Louis Greenway Project.
There we go. I would love that.
But first, the folding chair that continues to be the online phenomenon and sensation that everybody's talking about. I did a little deeper dive into it with my latest digital report as that phenomenon had spread to Detroit. Take a look. Folding chair taking on a life of its own following a brawl in Alabama that has captured the nation's attention. Video shows a black co-captain being attacked by a mob of white boaters on a Montgomery dock. Next, you can see black people running and even swimming to his defense. The hits kept coming, but the folding chair itself igniting some historical context created by a black man, Nathaniel Alexander, his patent version of it created in 1911.
Lift every chair and swing.
From celebrities speaking out on it to memes across social media. Across Black America, the folding chair has become an online sensation in the backdrop of a place filled with years of racial tension and home to the civil rights movement. But the smackdown didn't just land in Montgomery. Days later, it spread to Detroit. This viral video footage captures a black man using a folding chair outside a downtown business to seemingly defend himself after an alleged escalated argument with a white male. From people we spoke to, the use of a folding chair in this way is mixed.
You gotta laugh at sometimes. So you gotta, unfortunately, people shouldn't have to defend themselves with chairs, but if that's how it goes, that's how it goes. And then people just, kind of take off with it. The internet is undefeated, so one thing happens, it trends.
It was tough to see, but I guess deep down inside, you kind of see it and it's like, oh, wow, I guess maybe it was deserved a little bit for, attacking a guy who couldn't defend himself. But you know, it's pretty funny. The memes are crazy, and it's cool to see it like travel around the world from like over there to like Detroit now. So, you know, it's pretty funny. It's like a folding chair. It's like carry it around with you everywhere. You never know when you might need it.
And there you have it, a folding chair created by a black man, but the viral sensation of it created from just a black man doing his job when attacked. In today's times, you'll find it very hard-pressed for any black person to stand or sit idly by and watch as their fellow brother be attacked in this kind of way. That scene brought back all too familiar stories and black and white images told of, well, times that existed not too many years ago. And in this time, black people had heard and seen enough of those type of stories, and they jumped into action in Montgomery, Alabama, 2023. I'm Andre Ash, reporting. Welcome back.
Hi.
Welcome back.
it's my boy CNN Andre.
Yeah.
Right. He has a number of bags.
That he can
get in. But I love the deep dive. I really enjoy your journalistic approach to that crazy.
You gave so much seriousness to the fact that
I had multiple sources. You know, I had to talk to you know, the owner of the store and talk with some people out on the street. I also had to talk to a couple folding chairs themselves. You know, get their accounts about.
I missed that.
You know,
You even found out that the folding chair was made by a black man and gave us a little history lesson too. No.
Daniel Alexander in 1911. There have been multiple different, and even
he
earlier,
has an original patent though.
He has a patent for that particular kind, but there have been multiple or several different folding chairs, but different designs that were patented by different people.
So the folding chair does still have a black soul though.
It has a black soul.
Okay, and that's all that I
Like
needed
most
to know.
Almost like the ones you usually see when you go to like a black church. You know, you got the folding chairs.
The fish fry chair.
That is
for different occasions.
Fish fry chair.
Yes,
Family
that's the
reunion
one he
chair.
made.
That's the one he made.
Yeah, that's the one he made.
Got it.
You know.
Got it.
Let's get to some more news this week. Let's talk about BET and wow, the decision they made not to really even sell it anymore after they had been on this journey to seek out.
They played with people's emotions all day long. They never wanted.
They were seeking out. With them the other day, he was talking. He put out this post saying that Paramount will no longer put BET for sale. Now, Paramount is the sister parent company over BET and other platforms, and we had Pete Diddy and Tyler Perry and others who were, you know, seeking out an opportunity to take on this ownership. But now it seems like it will be no more. Some people feel like, well, Paramount was just probably playing games and saying that they could take a different route in this.
I think they were being petty. Like, I don't know if maybe it was a fear that a black person was going to own it again.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is crazy.
That's the deep fear.
I don't know.
Fear.
I was very disappointed in that, actually.
Super disappointed.
I thought they were like announcing who actually got it, not that they were.
I had a feeling because of the back and forth, and we were getting so many mixed. Oh, Tyler Perry, they're just waiting on the ink to dry. And I'm just like, it just never was any clear communication about what was going on, and that is because they never wanted to sell it, or because only strong black men wanted to buy it. I don't know.
You know, it reminds me of when television shows are going out to scout potential new talent, and they go out on this whole quest to find the best person out there in the audience, whatever. And really, it's just all for good marketing because they already have a person in mind that they want anyway.
Oh yeah,
which was Paramount.
Right, exactly.
Basically, speaking of that, speaking of BET, 106 Park did that at one time, and they knew who they wanted in the first place.
Exactly. I told you I tried to be the host on there, and they played me.
Yeah, so it's one of those things. But you know, speaking of black ownership and black content and what that looks like, and us putting out our own narratives. You know, that's why you should come to Michigan Chronicle.
Yeah, that's why Finally Friday exists.
That's why Finally Friday exists. Because, you know, we are a black-owned media entity that
black-owned and operated.
That shares news and reports news about us, for us, and all that good stuff. So,
us, by us.
Right.
Nah, for real.
Coming up, we'll be talking with Paige Kennedy, who joins us here in Studio 1452 here on Finally Friday. He's got new music out. We'll be getting into his life and career longevity and all that good stuff. But first, this weekend, we've got Afro Nation that is coming to the D.
I'm excited.
Oh, it's going to be live.
Oh, my God.
You got Lotto. You've got La Bianca. I'm so excited to meet her. Look,
oh, my.
We got...
Go ahead, Andre.
I've been drinking for the past 5 days. Did you check on me? Hey, and did you look for me?
You always miss that one part every time.
I've been drinking more.
It's the more.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
More
Okay.
alcohol.
Well, she's going to teach me the lyrics.
Okay.
She's gonna teach me the lyrics.
Oh, we love
I hope
you.
my voice
He's talking about I've been messing up on purpose.
Yeah,
So
teach me. So you can teach me. Teach me. Do you love me? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we got Dave Slow. We got
Andre, what? No. We're not listening over there.
Producer Ray not from the back. Wait,
Dave Slow is also going to be performing at Afro Nation, and I got a preview yesterday of what you can expect as crews continue their preparations for this weekend show. Take a look.
We're standing on grounds once home to Smokey Robinson, Diana Ross, the Supremes, and other Motown music legends. But this weekend, the largest Afrobeats festival, Afro Nation Detroit, will descend on these very grounds. And take a look here at this massive music stage here behind me. And as you can tell, a time will be had. From vendors to food and even international artists like Burna Boy and La Bianca to R&B musicians like Coi Leray, Ari Lennox, and Detroit's own Dej Low. They will grace these stages with 50,000 expected attendees this weekend. So a lot of preparation underway. You can see here crews behind me putting in the final touches to what will be the largest music festival that celebrates Black art, Black culture, Black music that Detroit has ever seen. We've got continuing coverage for you all weekend long on all of our social channels and also at MichiganChronicle.com. Reporting from the heart of Detroit, I'm Andre Ash from Michigan Chronicle.
I think we're muted still.
All right. So welcome back. So yeah, Afro Nation is happening this weekend. I even think we got some footage to show on just some of the grounds there, because this is actually happening at the old Brewster projects where we had the likes of coming to this very area. So
I love what Jeremy said yesterday. He said it's something in the soil.
It's something in the soil. So, Afro Nation is this weekend, and we got continued coverage all weekend long on our website at MichiganChronicle.com. So let's get to our next guest joining us in studio.
Speaking of music.
I mean, but he's all things. I mean, he's just not music. I mean, he's got even the fitness. He's a fitness buff. He's got the skits from back in the day on Vine. And he was the social media influencer before it became popular, right? Look, OG, the one and only Paige Kennedy.
Oh, you ready?
Look, I saw your Instagram where you said you were flying into the city, and you're glad to be back with no snow on the ground. We came back at just the right time.
Right. Yeah. Usually I show up, I come I'm here for the Christmas holiday and New Year's, like every year since I left, and so usually when I come, it's like white.
Oh,
right.
Oh man,
We don't want that for you.
So you're the reason it was chilly this morning, because when I came out,
I was like, walked in with that shirt again. I said, I thought it was gonna be too hot, and it was.
It was a little nip. Now I know why.
I brought that.
You did.
I'm coming from Los Angeles.
He said
So I didn't come from Antarctica.
So you live in Los Angeles now, but you're a Detroiter.
Yeah, I'm a Detroiter.
Yeah.
Born and raised. Yeah, I went to Cody High School.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
West Side.
West Side.
So when did you move out to LA?
I moved to LA in 2001, because I,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
when I left here, I went to Grand Rapids Community College, and I went there to play football, but I was not good enough, so I got in the theater.
You were good.
And then I went to Western Michigan University after that, and I went to graduate school for Shakespeare at the University of Delaware, and that's when I went to Los Angeles. So I haven't like lived in Detroit since I probably was 17.
Wow.
So I left here 90. I graduated 94. So yeah, I left 95.
Wow. It was your trajectory for me. Like even going from the football player to acting, Shakespeare.
Yeah, I did all that.
Yeah, you're one of the first viral sensations, and so I want to know, how have you been able to keep people engaged from platform to platform, project to project? Is it because you know how to dig in other bags and you're not afraid to try new endeavors?
I think I have creative ADHD.
I love that.
I'm just constantly like just trying to create, you know, and I feel like content creating is innate in me. I've been rapping since I was 7 years old. I actually, like, the first stage I ever was on was the state fair that we used to have a long time ago. I was 10 years old. It was my first show. 10 years old, special guest the state fair. And my man Rodney Laurie, he put me on the stage, and you know, and so I've been doing it my whole life, you know.
Before there was social media.
Way before.
Yeah. I'm glad you were able to capitalize on it. Because some of us were like, oh, I used to do this, and we just never kept going. So I think it's amazing that you started it, you saw the trend coming, capitalized on it.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually one of the first actors to decide to do like YouTube, you know, and I made that decision because I always would be like, oh, that's he from Leprechaun Back to the Hood. And I didn't want to be, that's my man from so I was like, you know, in social media I can be Paige Kennedy because you go into my channel and that's what I think is funny, and then when Vine came and like you could just grow so exponentially on that app, you know, then it really took off. And so some people think that I came from Vine, which I was acting way before that.
But even at that time, he was like, I'm going to do it for the Vine.
Hey, but Leprechaun is a classic. So it's like one of those things, you know, I feel it though. I want to control that narrative.
Exactly. It's so weird. Like when someone says it to me, because of like the preponderance of other things that I've been in, like it's cringy for me, but I know for them it's their childhood, so it's just the same as mine. You know what I mean? They watched it when they was in middle school, so to them it's like, hey, and I'm like,
some I had no business wasn't like,
but career longevity, like you found a way to continue to reinvent yourself and into different avenues. And so talk to us about right here, right now, you got new music.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into it. I think we
got
a graphic out right now.
A book of pages. A book of pages is out right now. You know, there he is. You know, I always try to have a music project to come out concomitantly with whatever other acting project or venture that I have going on, so that, you know, they happen at the same time. And this was that. I have a song, one of my new singles, Chomp, that is on the soundtrack of a movie, and that's my first time like being like, you know, on that big of a stage like with my music, and so that's cool. We got the video out, and that I got to go to China and do, you know, part of the promotion and stuff for it, and the album is doing good. I got a lot of transparency on there. It's a basically an amalgamation of the different aspects of Paige.
Love it. I know. I saw that you were talking about different struggles and depression and how the music and creating music has been therapeutic for you. What else can we expect from the album as far as the type of subjects you're going to be touching on?
Well, yeah, I had a song, the latest song to my project called Giving Up, and it's actually like my favorite song, and it was talking about the struggles that I was going through, like the album was done, it was complete, it was turned in, but like all of these things start to happen to me all at the same time, and you know, it's tough for me because I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, like I'm like super like clean in that sense, and I always have been, so I don't really have like a vice or outlet to get this out except from my music. And I find it to be therapeutic, and I also find it to be helpful to other people that might be going through similar struggles. And so that's on that Giving Up song, you know, it talks about things that you might not know. Like I come from a perspective that you wouldn't hear from an actor like in this form, and you definitely couldn't hear from a rapper because like, you know, there's machismos, and me, I'm very like humble and transparent in my music. And so, you know, the perceptions that people might have, I debunked all of that by telling the truth of what's going on as far as like the strikes and everything that we're going through right now.
To that point, I was going to bring it up because, you know, do you find yourself in one area, you're a great reflection of someone who's come from Detroit, who has made it in Hollywood, but in Hollywood right now, we're seeing them go through this whole strike, and it's really created a trickle-down effect on everything that touches television and film industry. What's your take on what's happening right now in this Hollywood industry?
I mean, it's a very tough thing because, like you said, you know, this is not something that just affects like the actors or the writers. This affects everyone, craft services, the makeup people, hair, the grips, the people who design the set, like everyone who is a part of this business has all been, you know, affected by what's happening right now, you know, and it's really like just the cupidity, the greed of the upper echelons that don't want to share. And we're like, no, we want what's right, and we are going to fight for what's right. And if not, then we're going to shut this whole thing down, you know. And so that's what we're doing. And it's a necessary evil. It's unfortunate for me, like the timing of it is just like couldn't be more worse for me in my position. But I just decided to lean in completely into the cause of it. And so I'm on the lines every day. Like if I wasn't here right now, I would be like marching right now. Like I go every day because I had to immerse myself in it so that I wouldn't be like acrimonious about the fact that I can't like promote my stuff and upset about it. So I wanted to be on the right side of history.
And we love your transparency because I believe we have a video of you actually opening one of the checks and letting us know like how real this is and how it affects, you know,
real it gets.
Look how real it gets. I think we have a video of that.
Residual checks. And so this is not been opened. I'll just open it right now and see. It's like a mystery pack. This one, I guess, is a better one. This is from a show called Justified. Justified was a show I did, and here's a residual check for it's $123. So that's respectable. That's some gas money, I guess. Now here is another residual check from a show called The Shield. $39. It's $39. So I mean, I guess you could get some popcorn or something. Okay, so this is a show called Bones, $49. This is the show Backstrom. So this is a show that I was a series regular on. This is a show that I was on the entire time. This is all of the episodes. You see that? All of the episodes.
Wow.
$59.
Wow. So you were talking with TMZ, and they showcased the reality that on many projects, you know, you in some instances don't make much that people envision that, you know, people should be making. And you just put it out and just said this is as real as it gets, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's somewhat understandable. Like when you do a project and it's been out for such a long time, like obviously you're not going to make the same amount on it in residuals that you once did before. But there are some companies like Netflix, you know, who don't want to pay you at all. So say for instance, they acquire a show that I did and now it's on Netflix. they don't want to give residuals at all for that show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like maybe they'll give like small residuals for like an original show that is for Netflix, but you know, Netflix don't just only do original shows; they also acquire other shows, and so you know, I don't know what that is. They haven't, they won't allow us to know what's actually happening in the inner workings of it, to know like the time, like how many views it's getting, how much, you know what I'm saying, so that they don't have to
release those analytics. Okay,
release those analytics. Release those analytics.
And Charisma said this is why we need ownership. That is true. That is very true.
Let's talk about the Meg.
I can't do that.
He can't do it.
And look, and this is, I mean, it's almost like, and we had James Moses Black here a couple of weeks ago, actor, producer, and it's just like, this is the downfall of the strike. You're doing it for great purposes, but you know, a lot of movie projects and you know, and television projects have been put on hold and have been put on hold from even promoting it, because it's just like, no, that's probably even more money for the industry or the studios to even be talking about it. So it's a crazy, wild thing right now. But we hope that the people who are fighting get to the bag, because the money is definitely out there and it's going somewhere and it's not being spread out equally.
Right, and we are the face of all of that. Like you know, without us, there is no, you know, like, and they feel because they take all of the risk because they, you know, they put the money up for it. And so if it fails, it goes on them. If it succeeds, it goes on them. They feel like they have a risk, but we are the face of it. Without us, there is no any of that.
You know, likeness, all the.
What I love about creatives and what you're doing is the versatility. One thing is on hold, so you're tapping into something else. Book of Pages out now.
Yes,
right now.
We can't promote that.
We can't promote that.
Book of Pages is out now. Detroit is in the building. Detroit is all the time for it. So definitely check it out. It's crazy lyricism in there. There's stories. There's social commentary. You got Ice-T. You got Ice-T on there. You got Crooked Eye. You got Detroit's Elzai that's on there. You got we got some King Los. It's dope features on there. Ransom, John Connor, another Michigan.
You got Cherry Gordy on it.
We're very serious.
We're very serious. It's a good question.
I don't.
No. You gotta meet her. I'm telling you, you got to meet her.
She a dope rapper from
if she must say so herself.
So on the Book of Pages, Volume 2.
Volume 2.
Cherry Gordy. You know, she was like, no. He like, so was I supposed to?
How can people find out and pick up and purchase Book of Pages?
It's available on all streaming services, but if you support independent artists and you want to like allow and help me to continue to make it, you can actually purchase the album on my Bandcamp, which is the link is in my bio at Paige Kennedy on Instagram.
Love it. Paige Kennedy, everybody. Thanks so much for coming through. We so appreciate it for you coming through on Finally Friday. And you know what? We actually heading into the segment coming up next. What is your favorite Coney Island in Detroit?
Oh, my favorite one. This gonna sound crazy, man. Come on now. No, the one that I go to the most is because I take my son because it's right by his grandma's house. Is the one on 8 Mile off of Telegraph.
8 Mile and Telegraph. Okay.
Y'all like, what is that?
Mickey D's.
It's not Mickey D's. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Like an Oasis or something.
That's funny.
Would you get chili cheese fries?
Yeah, of course you gotta get this.
Squeeze a slice.
Oh, that's another one.
Yes.
That Sonic and In-N-Out too much. That's one of our early days. That's crazy.
I'm telling you. Thanks so much, Paige, for coming in. We're going to continue this conversation. It's our big debate. I'm sorry, I had Chinese for last night. Which Coney Island is
we got to throw it to that video now.
It's your favorite. We'll get to that conversation coming up in just a bit. You're watching Finally Friday. Don't go anywhere.
Love it.
Are we? Oh wait, I finished.
No, you're good.
Okay, we gotta take this picture.
I'm on my way and I'm hiding out in the dark, seeing no part of me is gon' stop biting to the artery. Is hardly repairable, unbearable. Be careful, not a werewolf. I'm Meg infested, terrible, and I dare you, dare you, dare you. Get 'em out, chomp. Spit 'em out, chomp. Megalodon. Get 'em out, chomp, chomp. I'm the Megalodon, chomp. Chomp on it. I'm an apex predator, ain't nothing regular. Nobody better than Donna. Chomp on it. I'm an apex predator, ain't nothing regular. Nobody better than Donna. Chomp on it. I'm an apex predator, ain't nothing regular. Nobody better than Donna. Chomp on it. I'm an apex predator, nobody better than.
All right. So there you have it from Paige Kennedy, who was.
He was. I
love when the folks come from LA, and even in the midst of the strike, like it's so much good energy and vibes. So again, anybody who's on strike, we stand with y'all. Okay, get y'all back the correct amount.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now this is where I stand. When it's a late night, ain't nothing else open.
When it's
Nothing else open.
at night.
That's what.
Okay.
And it's time to unwind.
Wow.
There's a
Y'all
don't remember the Quiet Storm? Okay.
The Quiet
yeah.
Storm.
Producer Bay was with me. She was with me. I don't know if you heard her. I'ma just vibe to anything.
That was on mix. It was on mix.
V98.7.
That's what it was on?
Yeah. It was.
I remember. It was
it was.
I'm like, what?
You say. Hey,
Like,
look.
dang.
Andre rubbing off on me. I'm getting stuff wrong.
But
And I just
but-
don't got no voice, y'all. I was at Bash yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, I
talk
saw
about
y'all. Y'all was cute.
It was
Yeah.
nice,
Our
actually.
senior writer Ebony JJ
JJ
Curry.
Curry.
Yes,
And we took some pictures.
she fell through. I saw her. She had a little gold on her
Yes,
shoulder.
yes.
All the notes go.
I
No,
was
we were
there.
in there. It was dope. Donovan Glover was the DJ for the
Ooh,
Afterglow. And the fashion show itself was beautiful. Like, I mean, Neiman Marcus is a partner or helps them put it on with the DIA and the Founders Junior Council. It was fancy. It was fabulous. I was like, oh, I feel
You
like
put your plenty of pictures and video.
I did. I didn't put a lot on social because I was working and just moving around a lot. But it was dope. And I felt cute. I was all glittery and stuff.
Let me go next year. Let me start getting my stuff together now.
now. Literally. But
Do
no,
they have-
it was awesome.
I love that. Do they have like chili cheese for that?
No, the food definitely. I would have asked for more food. Literally, it was like one shrimp on a stick.
You
Got
heard
to
it
feed
first here from Antonice Strickland.
More food.
I need some more food next
Y'all
time.
know I like
Oh, food next time, okay?
But it was beautiful. It was definitely beautiful, and it was cool to see a lot of the community there. And and hopefully my voice will get back by tomorrow before Afro Nation.
Well, you've been doing great. Well, you probably gonna lose it again, but it'll be back for sure by next Friday.
Next Friday.
Before we go, we gotta finish this debate that we started at the top of the hour.
I'm still stuck on you thought the quiet storm.
You know what? It must have been
Y'all get
it must have been he
focusing
getting
on the wrong
wrong.
things.
I get one thing wrong.
But that is a good throwback. I'm so sorry to pivot for a quick second, but that
I was
is a
about
good
to say.
throwback because that reminded me of every day being in a car, my grandmother picking me up from school. And she would have on that station all the time, smooth jazz, dun 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 dun, B98.7.
It was a melody.
Oh,
I
it was
love
a
that.
melody.
It was a melody.
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah,
It was a time.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
time.
it
It
was
was
a time.
time. It was time.
Well, when nothing's open late at night, we all go over there at Coney Island, and I know we all have our favorites. When nothing else is open at 2:00 in the morning, or just whenever. It's where is your favorite? What is your favorite Coney, and what do you order when you go there as well?
Okay, so
Best-
the Diva Jones said best Coney Island TJ's on 8 Mile, Hollywood, or most Coneys in the neighborhoods. Listen,
Wait,
I love TJ's.
Yeah.
TJ's coffee.
Ooh.
So good.
Ooh.
You actually have to clarify though when you say Hollywood, because I found that there's an east side and a west side, and I go to one on the east side, Gratiot and 94, Gratiot and Hopper.
She's talking about the Hollywood on Grand River and Evergreen, because I was gonna bring that up, but I want to say something. You guys removed the Hawaiian salad dressing from the Hawaiian chicken salad. You guys need to put
let's give them a call right now.
You have been mad.
Okay. Honestly, because I would have said Hollywood if they hadn't done that. So I'm gonna go with Nikki D's. Nikki D's is a safe bet. Great breakfast sandwiches. Several locations. I like the one on 8 Mile
Evergreen. Yeah, I used to go to that one too.
Yeah, west side.
Yeah, I know.
Y'all so funny.
And there's also the Nikki D's. I know this one. 6 Mile in Illinois. Yeah, across from Mickey D's.
Wow.
But my favorite.
Go ahead.
No, what's yours? You know.
No, I just go to Coney. I always order the same thing.
Well, you can't just.
But I have the most experiences at Detroit one.
Now
I've seen way too many people.
You gotta go to Detroit one with a bulletproof vest on.
I haven't been back.
Look,
that's the most memorable.
Yeah, and that one I used to go to all the time. It was right down the street from our high school on Woodward Avenue. Yep. But yeah, I'll have to say Hollywood County on the east side, Gratiot and Hopper. And then, of course, for guests who come into the city, their locations are the ones that's downtown. For us, that don't count. I love y'all. I love y'all, but they don't count. We run out of time, y'all. Here on Funny Friday. Thanks so much for tuning in. It was a great show.
It was amazing.
But before we go, I want to say happy anniversary.
Yeah, thank you.
We love
to you and your boo.
Thank you. Our anniversary is Monday. We'll be celebrating this weekend. I love
How many years?
2 years.
Aww.
We've been together for 10, but this will be our 2-year anniversary on Monday. Our wedding, our marriage, our anniversary of our marriage, and so I'm quite
You could have asked
scared.
me to grab that.
What is awkward?
Sorry. Just wanted to give you a nice treat. It's a finally birthday and anniversary gift.
Yes.
Yeah.
We love you.
I ain't gonna put the brand out there. Are we sponsoring these folks? It's a
she said no. There's some other things in there as well, but
you are appreciated.
Happy anniversary and birthday month and all that comes with it. And have a great week.
I love my Finally Friday family. Thank y'all so much. Shout out to my husband, Nicholas.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out, Nick.
I love y'all.
Shout out,
Hey,
Nick.
where was he? He usually be chiming in.
I know. Where was you today?
Thanks so much for tuning in. We ran out of time. We'll see you next week here at the same place and time. Because if it's Friday, it's finally Friday.